What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. Special guest in the building. Needs no introduction whatsoever. Deluded Gooner in the place. How are you, my bro?
I'm good, man. You always hype me up a lot, man. Allow me, man. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm in decent spirits. Feels like I ain't been here for a minute, and there's been a lot of football since the last time I was here. But yeah, man, I'm in good spirits. What are you saying, Curtis?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. You know how it is, man. We just have to keep moving in it during this lockdown, man. They can't hold us down. You know how it goes,
facts.
Bro.
Big facts.
Big up everyone in the chat for tuning in. Make sure you go and subscribe to Deluded Gooner. Subscribe to my channel and hit the like button on the way. And see, you got these man on this Cameron Jerome thing now. Look,
hey, I'm gonna have to copyright that. I'm gonna have to copyright that car. You can't just be all throwing that in. And you still plugging the Bergwijn thing.
But at least Bergwijn's a top player, bro. Cameron Jerome's a MK Dons or something.
And that's Steve. He's for the culture, man. He's for the culture. You know the deep thing. I swear Cameron Jerome even cut his hair as well. So I don't know how I'm getting away with that, but we keep it moving.
I'm telling you, man, it's mad. It's mad. Oh, let me just read these super chats before we kick off. Opinionator Gooner says, how you doing, guys? Hope you're both safe and well. I set up a YouTube channel for Arsenal fans. Channel's called Opinionator Gooner. Kenny Ken subscribed. I did an interview with Julian Arons. Yeah, people, go and check that out, man. Appreciate the super chats anyway. Big up everyone for tuning in. And man said deluded Bergwijn. Yo, listen, like you said, a lot's happened since we last spoke, so at least we got a little bit to talk about. Obviously, I think we're unbeaten in 8 games coming up to that Wolves game. Before the Wolves game, what did you make of what was happening in the lead up to that game, and obviously unbeaten?
Well, to be fair, in the lead up to it, it was all sweet. Obviously we turned the corner. I think Arteta had the humbleness to kind of recheck what he was doing because we're playing right in an attacking sense. Players all over the field were coming into form, in particular the young players. Obviously, in recent games, Pepe stepping up, so everything was good. Obviously, it depends how you look at it because I think we started well, but are we calling it well, or is it because of what we've previously done? We found ourselves in a good position. Would have loved to have seen us beat Crystal Palace. We still got issues breaking down low blocks. I'll take the United point. I'm not criticizing that. But in the grand scheme of things where we're chasing top 4, both teams will take a point. We probably could have won that. And, the last game we played, I'm sure we're going to get into it a bit more. But, it's a bitter taste in my mouth losing in the way we did. Because, again, we've seen 3 points turn to 1 and then we've lost it. Can't not talk about the refereeing and the law and whatnot. So we just have to get back on board, man. But like you said, we're winning 8 games. We lost 1. It's not all doom and gloom, really.
I mean, we've definitely seen shoots of improvement. As you know, I've been very critical of the manager this season.
we all have, man, to be fair.
We all have. I thought I was going to have to do a whole Netflix series of Arteta out, but we've ended the series. We've ended it. But no, listen, I've seen a lot of improvement, but it's like we're still 10th. The facts are the facts. As well as we're doing, we're still 10th. We're still 8 points off 4th, and they've got 2 games in hand, I believe. So we could potentially be 14 points away from 4th. Are we in a position now where, look, we have to keep fighting for top 4, but are you almost thinking now we got to win that Europa League and that top 4's maybe gone a little bit from us?
It's a weird one because it's like you said, no matter what way we shape it, we are 10th. We've been playing well and stuff, but we've been reacting to our poor start to the season or prior to that moment, in the same way we react across all other aspects of this football club. So we are relying on a lot. We need to put a run of form together. If we're realistic, we are going to drop more points like everybody. So we need to just get back and going with things. I'm a bit different with that, Curtis, because I hear the logic. We need to qualify through the league. It's a 38-game period. Europa League is our ticket. I hear the logic, but I genuinely feel at this moment in time that you can't wholeheartedly put whole hand in one. You've got to kind of play it as it is and keep moving forward with it, because I can sit here and say, you know what, other teams are dropping points in the Premier League. We're just over the halfway point. Mathematically, there's a lot of points. The league's our best shot. Obviously, you can make cases for targeting the Europa League, but I'm pretty sure if you look at it, we can't convincingly say we're going to get to the final of the Europa League, because on our day we can beat anybody. But those naiveties that we have done in games where we've lost it in the league, European clubs are obviously gonna take advantage. As we know with the league, we're relying on a lot. Like even on the best of days, we still need a lot to go our way. So I agree with what you kind of said before, man. We've got to just keep trying to do what we do in the league, see where it goes. And there might come a point where you've got to say, do you know what, Europa League? But you mentioned Europa League, and that's an interesting one. I want to see these players learn their lesson in that, because we've got Benfica. Yes. You know, when we went out against Olympiacos, I think across both of those games, we didn't do enough. We didn't do enough to kill it in the first leg, and you saw it happen in the second. So we need to learn from mistakes. But I don't feel we can say just Europa or just a Prem yet. We've just got to see how it goes.
See how it goes. I'm not going to talk too much about the Villa game because we're going to do a show on your channel tomorrow.
Love for the plug.
Just quickly for this one, Alex Mason, big up for the super chat, said, what front three would you start against Villa?
Well, do you know what? You know, I'm like you, where Aubameyang FC has always got to get a look in. But, you know, right now, based on everyone having to play for their shirts, and if Aubameyang wasn't Aubameyang and wasn't the captain, he's probably not in the team. So for me, I still think Lacazette's got to play. He didn't score, but he still got an assist. And obviously, VAR did us dirty. I think VAR, man said VAR. Lacazette through the middle. Saka on the right, apologies, and Pepe on the left based on how he's played. It's a bit unfortunate because you can't get Martinelli in there right now. Obviously, Aubameyang's the top done. I feel that would probably be my front three, really and truly.
Yeah, no, I'd probably agree at this stage. Let's talk about the Wolves game, man. I mean, I said, you know what? That for me that's one of the worst defeats of the season for me, to be honest, because we had total control of that game. We should have killed them off in the first half. I mean, Saka's 1-on-1 after 45 seconds. He should have actually scored that. But what did you make of that game in general and the way it panned out?
Bro, I can't really add on to anything you said because let me start with some positives. You know, Pepe did all right. You know, people got on to Partey for his last game about his passing. Early on for Saka, you saw his passing. Saka should have scored. I 100% agree, but he's shown why he needs to play. There was, you know, we started strong. We played all right. We did, you know, there were some positives. The negatives, you know, whatever way we shape it and talk about what happened in the game, we've dropped points from winning positions. We've not taken points from a game we need to win, considering, and I know you're going to do a watch along on the game, Chelsea versus Spurs and other people around us. So they're disappointing. Obviously, it's hard to talk about the game and not talk about the incident that happened. I agree what you said. We started fast. We was all over them. You know, Saka should have scored a couple. We should have got them out of there. We should have shut the game up even before it got to the incident. So you've got to take your chances. For me, I'm disappointed. Clearly, I'm disappointed in the ref and the way and everything that happened. I feel David Luiz's reputation's kind of gone against him. I can understand. It's a soft penalty for me, but I can get it. I don't think Jose dived. I don't think Luiz is trying to touch him. It's just, you know, he's clipped him, or it looked like it. So I think at best, you know what, it's soft, but I'll take a yellow. Defo didn't deserve a red card, and I think his reputation's gone against him and things like that. And it's between poor reffing or just poor enactment of the law. I know many people sit here and say, oh, it's the law of the game and things, but then you've got, like every incident, you've got these referees coming and saying, I wouldn't have given him that. I don't think he had that. And that changed the game for us. And from there, you know, Wolves got the penalty, bit between the teeth. They started strong. Matinho done a banger for them. We're in their mercy. I was a bit disappointed with David Luiz in general, not for the penalty, not for the red card, because obviously it happens. But considering he's an experienced player, I watched the build-up. It came from a Leno long ball. I had nothing to do with Leno's long ball because I felt, you know, we're 30 seconds for the game's done. It's gone long. David Luiz, in the area David Luiz is initially in, he has no business trying to win that ball there. And really, he's made that foul because he's not in his position and he's reacting. That's why he's tripped him up. That's where I'm angry at Luiz. Not alone, you know, but at the same time, these are the fine margins. We need to go into half-time at 1-0 up. And really, we only kept that lead for what? Just over 10 minutes. So game management, when you have a chance to kill the game, kill it, because the incident changed the game. But maybe we could have went into that half-time 4-1 up or something, and it's a talking point. But we get a free. But, you know, there's no way around it. Craig Pawson's a dickhead. You know, I don't know what he's on throughout that whole game. Like, it's as simple as that, really. Like, it's a madness. Absolute madness. And they need to pattern off the law, my guy. It don't make sense. Like, it doesn't. Like, it happened to Ben Yedder as well in the Southampton game. You know, it's not making sense. You know, the refs are just poor across all standards. Because I know I'm reaching. And I know Bolly got a bit of that ball. But if they get a penalty, I can't lie. I think it's a shameless one. But I think Saka's due a penalty there personally. I watched the game again. Like I said, I'm reaching, but I think so. So I don't understand, fam. It seems like everyone's going against us.
Bro, it's led me in nicely here to something I wanted to look at. Because not many people really identified it, but as you've said here, right, this is the 47th minute of the game.
And them improving what we're coming like Sky Sports now and that, yeah. This is a madness. Real situation scenarios and that.
Bro, I wish I could play it, but you know the copyright business.
Yeah. No,
47th minute of the game here, right? With these 2 minutes added on. I mean, one of the questions was, why did the referee not blow half time? We've played the 2 added minutes. The ball's in the middle of the pitch. Why are you
positioning, bro? Look at Luiz. Why is Holding should do better? But why is Luiz there? You got no business. Even Partey and Xhaka, as I said, they're busy paying attention to the ball. There's no business there. We've improved defensively, but we need to switch on, bro. You showed it right here. Look at it. 30 seconds before half time. What are you doing?
I don't understand. If David Luiz is here next to Holding, that goal doesn't happen. What? He's got no business there. He's got no business. And he gets outran by him on the run there as well. I mean,
reactionary defending.
Did you think Holding could have done better with maybe closing down the player or shutting down the space for the pass, or do you think he was just exposed too much?
Fundamentally, I think it's David Luiz, and I do think Holding's reactionary. But looking at that goal again, obviously we can't play it. But those of you skip to that moment and play it, you'll see Holding's on the turn. I think Holding gets sucked towards the ball, and he has no awareness of the run that William Jose makes. As you can see, there is time. It's as a centre half, you as a striker, you're taught to do that. As you turn on the half turn, if you can't find your striker or your attacker, the man you're meant to be, you're in trouble. So I think it's reactionary. If David Luiz somehow got back and made a courageous tackle, it's all on Sky Sports. That's the highlight. But that's why you need to stay in position. Holding obviously should do a bit better. I think we're allowing Partey and Xhaka to escape a lot of criticism for that, as good as they were.
No, they switched off.
Yeah, so it's a bunch of errors, really and truly. It's just a bunch of errors, but fundamentally it happens with Luiz, because if Luiz isn't there, Partey and Xhaka can then win the duel, and then you have more of a chance. And this is the final moments. And with Luiz, you don't know what Luiz you're getting. The penalty, the red card, they're all other talking points. Fundamentally, for being out of position, you don't know what David Luiz you're getting. You might get the one that was against Southampton, the one that was a man mountain against United, or what you see switching off here. Holding could do better, but I think it's a Luiz thing, personally.
Yeah, it is Luiz. I mean, he gets in a foot race. He doesn't react quick enough. And then my one issue with Holding, I thought, could he possibly have moved over here and made that a more difficult pass?
He's not looking over his shoulder.
I mean, look at Rob Holding's position. He's squared up with him here. He should be side on him. But again, it's David Luiz ultimately anyway. But listen, I mean,
facts, man.
I was saying this the other day in a show that do we sometimes get caught up too much in form, in the sense that David Luiz is out of contract this summer. Now, I know David Luiz got man of the match against Manchester United, and he did play very well. But ultimately, we're probably looking to move him on in the summer. Should we not be playing players that we want to be at the club next season? Why has Gabriel, just kind of been banished for David Luiz? They're talking about David Luiz could even get a new 1-year deal, and you're thinking, please, man, learn from your mistakes.
Emotional responses, bro. You set me up perfectly. This is what I don't understand. This is what I mean by what I say in terms of hot and cold. Certain players will play good for 5 games, certain players won't, and then the bad the next. This is why I tell fans, look at a player or try and guess over 38 games. There's going to be good and negative moments. David Luiz does not deserve a new deal. I credit for his form. He's been playing well. He's turned into form. I can get the logic between the consequences. Gabriel got sent off. He's had COVID. There's some match fitness issues in there. And we've been playing all right. David Luiz, Marie, when fit, everybody was doing a job. So I understand not changing things. And for me, especially with the centre-half pairings, when you get a little pairing that's working good together, I don't believe in changing much. And to a degree, prior, we were 8 games unbeaten. So if it's not broke, don't fix it. We're all kind of criticizing Arteta for doing the chopping and changing sort of thing. He kind of stuck to it. But I wholeheartedly agree with you, is that I know form can make or break. And I get it with fans, when you say, if a man ain't doing the job, he don't deserve to start, or if other players are playing well, do it fairly. But this is why I wanted Gabriel to play. I know he was terrible against Southampton, but this is why Gabriel needs to play. I actually feel that Gabriel's played well when he came off the bench, but his body positioning for Leno wasn't good enough as well. But it's true, bro. People get too gassed with the form. They don't look at, people struggle to apply balance. It's as simple as that. I don't, David Luiz, I hear it, good with the young players, vocal, in terms of being a ball playing centre half, he does that now. But unless just being a reassuring voice, a voice in the dressing room, a cup man or Europa League, he shouldn't be here. We need to look to move him away. And again, he's been playing well this season generally, but these sort of players, they'll always show you. Fundamentally, I feel sorry for David Luiz because this mistake he made against Wolves was almost kind of written in the wrong way. But fundamentally, it's another mistake and a talking point with the name David Luiz. And how many of these sort of incidences have you seen? You can't teach an old dog new tricks to a degree. He might turn up in the FA Cup final, pull it on against United, but in between, I'm not sure for the consistency. And we've heard David Luiz new deal, El Nene new deal. Lacazette's my guy, and I don't want to throw him into that. But even with him, he's been hot and cold. Of recent, prolonged, he's been a madness. But you can't criticize Oba signing a new deal and then not consider that. If Lacazette signs it, does he drop off? Are we now in the same situation? Fans will say you can't let him go now if he signs. Arsenal was stupid. So I don't know, my guy. But yeah, man, only couple man's contracts we should be looking at, and David Luiz ain't one of them.
I just think like that's why I wanted to look at the incident, because not many people spoke about the fact that David Luiz was way out of position in the first place. That red card never happens if he's 10 yards further back. Let's talk about the red card, because this red card has baffled me, because when I first saw it, I'll be honest, my initial reaction was red card. Last man, you've took him out. It's a penalty and a red. Then I saw it, and obviously I heard about that double jeopardy rule, and I thought they said, if there's no clear and obvious attempt to win the ball, then it's a yellow and a penalty. But then some referees are saying if he would have made a tackle, it wouldn't have been a red card. Like, what do you make of the situation and what you know of it? Do you think that was a red? Do you think it's a penalty? What did you make of it?
First things first, confusion. I agree with you. Other man might be saying something else, and problems like that. We don't understand. People are freestyling things. We saw it. We saw some sort of consistency in the Southampton game, but there's been games where if we go through the season, we look at that same incident, they'll say it's not a red card. And I don't understand the laws, because again, I don't want to play devil's advocate at this, but surely you're putting people's fitness at risk, because as you just said there, if he makes an attempt, it's still a penalty, but it's a yellow card. So what if he just decided to aimlessly slide in? Where's it's not making any sense, and it's blurring the fans. And it's question. You have to question the integrity of the Premier League. I don't know if it's on one hand, if they're just enacting the law, then I can't really criticize that. So maybe the law needs to be changed, or is it down to the reffing? So again, it's just another talking point every week, whether it's Arsenal. Ironically, Nuno came out and criticized refereeing and got silenced by the FA. Every game week, we're talking about a new incident in a new game, and that's not coincidental. That is a byproduct of inconsistencies across the laws and refereeing, man. I don't understand it. I thought initially it was a red as well. Looking back, I thought, you know what, according to the rules, it's a red card. But come on now, like he's actually made no attempt to go for the ball. He's trying to avoid the challenge. It's a mishap. I understand red card. I mean, yellow card, penalty. It is what it is. But a red, overdoing it, really overdoing it.
Do you know what? A lot of people hammered Craig Pawson, the referee, and don't get me wrong, I don't particularly rate him as a ref. I don't rate many refs, but I feel like the bigger issue was VAR, because VAR, the whole point of it is to fix a refereeing mistake. He doesn't get that second look at it. So, do you think that the anger should have been towards VAR more than the referee?
I definitely feel it, because I think all that waiting around ultimately to prove nothing isn't helped. But then I feel you have to question, what's the point of VAR then? Why did it take so long? Because like we hear, double jeopardy, let's just say it's a red. It is a red by the letter of the law. So what is VAR being shown for then? You're taking too long to confirm it. You're switching angles, the byline. And again, it confuses people, because then you've got ex-refs on TV confirming it should be a red. Other man saying it's not. People are saying to change it. And when you've got, let's be honest, away from that VAR thing, the referee had a bit of a mare. Arsenal fans, we always moan about the refs, but I'm starting to feel there is a bit of an agenda against Arsenal, really and truly. Like, I don't know if it's our reputation, how we're perceived. It is what it is. I think the fundamental factor should be referees need to be screen tests. Why do we look at referees like they're some non-biased, impartial angels? They watch football like us. They have biases like us. What if they concede that they think, just as a fan of football, David Luiz is rash? when he gets into that incident, your immediate unconscious biases is definitely he's guilty. Get rid of him. So refereeing needs to pattern up, man. You can't criticize the ref. You can't, like I said, Nuno Wolves' gaffer. He spoke and got shutted up. And again, half the time it's these same referees that are making these decisions. And Mr. Craig Pawson, he's got a very big rap sheet in terms of controversial decisions against our club. So it's a joke, man. They need re-education and the laws need changing, man. And I fully agree with what you say, man. VAR, what's the point of it then? Like, what's the point? Like, we don't get it. It's too much confusion in that, man.
Would you take VAR out of football, or do you think it just needs to be changed slightly and used more effectively?
It's got to be. I think common sense has got to be applied. It's got to be used in a better sense, and I think they've got to use a bit of common sense because they've already rewritten another rule. Don't you remember early on they were doing that thing? If it's hit the ball, if it's hit your hand, it's a penalty. Then they saw how stupid that was. There needs to be something because for me, you're encouraging people to somewhat hurt other players because again, if I'm David Luiz, I can get a yellow just for attempting to get the ball. Or just what he actually did was, okay, I don't want to foul someone. Let me move away. You're going to get in problems. So again, it questions the integrity and the inconsistency. So therefore got to look to change that sooner rather than later because 2 incidences back to back. Southampton got banged 9-0 and the talking points aren't going to be said. The same old F3 happened in that game. So maybe there is consistency applied and it's consistently confusing. I don't know.
It's crazy. I actually think that Southampton one was even worse, to be honest. I'm not even sure there was any contact. You know what I mean? It's crazy, bro. It must be a nightmare to be a defender in the modern game. You literally can't do anything in the penalty area. You know, it's mad. Second off, obviously we go down to 10 men now. I'm not going to be on Arteta too much today. I'm going to give him a bit of a break. But one thing that I will call out is I didn't think he made the right substitutions. Now, I've played in games before where you've gone down to 10 men. And one thing for me that you need is a way out. And the way out is the striker. Now, he took Lacazette off and played Smith Rowe false 9, and we could not get up the pitch. Like, he couldn't do anything against Willy Bolly and them. And another thing that I think you need when you've got 10 men is individual brilliance, a little moment. Pepe's just scored one of the goals of the season, 2 nutmegs. And then you take him off and bring on Aubameyang left wing who can't get up the pitch. What did you make of them substitutions that Arteta made in that game?
He's kind of damned if he do, damned if he doesn't. And I don't necessarily criticize him because I don't necessarily think they were the wrong things, but I don't necessarily think they were the right things. Like you said, for me, it's all, don't get twisted. Smith Rowe works hard. In the last 2 games, he hasn't necessarily hit all the heights for his creativity, but his numbers are there for pressing. But I just feel when you're gone on the best of days, when you have 11 men, Lacazette is working hard for all the criticisms. He works hard. So when you've gone down to 10 men, I think you need that. Obviously, Lacazette ain't going to give you pace on the counter, but he's going to be an outlet. He's going to win us those little fouls. And we definitely need that at 9 men. I mean, at 10 men, definitely when you're down to 9. I see what he tried to do with Aubameyang, maybe try and discourage the fullbacks from getting forward. But I think it just wasn't the right thing. When you're 10 men down, when they've started in the way they've started in the game, I think you could immediately see it was a mistake in the second half. The goal didn't come because of that. We just simply didn't press him. But you could see that. And again, it's all about killing the confidence. I would have preferred to actually take off Smith Rowe, with all due respect to Smith Rowe, and then done it that way. It's a buy. Someone's been stupid, so we have to do what you have to do. Pepe coming off again. I thought Pepe, the one thing I liked with Pepe, obviously the goal, but it's his general performance. And I think he was doing all right. He scored. He was helping a lot Cedric defensively. Like you had probably seen second half. The only time Adama, Pedro was doing his thing, but the only time they really looked quality is when we've kind of lost the game. There's no one really, we ain't got enough numbers. That's the only time you saw Adama look like a right winger. I think Pepe was helping out a lot at 10 men, so I didn't get that. Aubameyang was probably brought on to discourage their fullbacks and a bit of pace on the counter. He didn't get into the game and he's lacking match fitness. So yeah, man, maybe there was a lot of inexperience shown via the substitutions. Definitely with Lacazette being subbed off, and I would have looked to have got Martinelli on. I know the seniority points towards Aubameyang, but you're thinking work rate. So at least I'm thinking Martinelli, Lacazette staying on or something like that. So it is what it is. But yeah, man, I think there's something. And even I said it in my preview, the review, you could have taken off Bellerin, shift Cedric out there, make Saka. You like, this guy just beat me to it. Make Saka do a job there, and then you bring in who you want to bring in another way. Darren beat me to it. Exactly what Darren's saying.
Yeah, man, I get you. And then obviously Leno gets sent off. I mean, I think Leno, is very fortunate that everyone's talking about that David Luiz red card, because what he did is unforgivable for me. Like, as an experienced goalkeeper, what on earth is he doing? Like, it's crazy. What did you make of Leno?
Bro, what's there to make of it? You know, big up Leno this season, but broski, there's nothing to make of it. It's just idiotic. You know, if that's the worst thing is, you know, if it was any other player, would have more energy. And I feel for Leno, he's kind of let me down in that. You know, I know Leno's a good keeper, but I feel he's a good keeper, but I wasn't necessarily sold on him. I think this season he's calmed me down with getting the ball from aerial situation. His distribution's been good. And stuff like that, but it looked like he's back to the same old stuff I've seen of him prior. There was no need to do that. You know, I think Gabriel's slight of out of position, but there's no need. You know, exactly that. You know, it's just brainless. It's just brainless. At least David Luiz, I can say you're out of position. There's no logic as to why Leno does that. You know, there's none of that. And he doesn't even mark the space properly. He just overcommitted. He's mistimed it. Bro, there's no reason to stay on this long. It's just stupid and idiotic. And, you know, it's and the way I'm looking at Leno, you're an experienced player. With all due respect to the colleagues around you, you know we're going to have it harder if you're not available. You know we're playing Aston Villa, a team that beat us 3-0. Now, you can only consider the 90 minutes, but these stupid actions have consequences. So now we're in a bit of a pickle, you know. Renison has all my confidence going into the game, but we all know, bro. Like,
we don't forget what you said last time, you know. He is on the playground, bro.
Just he looks like he looks unconfident. To be fair, when he come off the bench, he made a couple saves, but broski, you know what time it is when you got them man there. They beat us 3-0. Imagine when you got that keeper. Come on, man.
Villa got beat yesterday, and Grealish probably thinking, yo, I hope Renardson's in goal on the weekend, man. It's mad. Oh man, so yeah, we end up losing that game. But you know, as you said, there have been positives and shoots of improvement under Arteta. It's just, you know, the fact that we haven't moved up the table, it kind of shows how bad that start to the season was. Someone who has improved, finally, we're starting to see a proper player, Nicolas Pepe, man. Like, number one, what do you think has brought this form? And do you think that playing on the left actually suits him better than playing on the right?
To be fair with you, I guess we'll never know what will pinpoint this form. I just have to give him, you know, he's clearly worked. He's clearly forgave himself for his poor form. He stopped feeling sorry for himself and stood up to be counted. He's finally, I guess, when I've seen Pepe play, it's not that he's a bad footballer. I just want him to give me the impression that this shirt cannot be taken of you. In the same way we talk about Saka and all these guys, I'm getting that. The crucial thing for me with Pepe is his general play. You know, it's no longer flashes of brilliance in that he's got that as well. But you're seeing him throughout the whole game. He's defending well. He's trying to break well. And I'm seeing more confidence. For me, I'm not really fussed on the left and the right, because I want to get to a standard where we have Bukayo Saka and Pepe, for example, both able to play on either side and able to swap within game. You know, I've seen who was it? Did Pepe not play on the right against United? I could be wrong, but he excelled. You know, that's it. That's it in him. I just think he's making decisions faster. I think the left-hand side is his for right now, because again, it's simple. You have less decisions to make. If it's not broke, let's not fix it, sort of thing. And I still believe in the partnership of Saka and Bellerin more than Pepe and Bellerin, and that should be it. But we've seen they've had teething problems. So I think he's just forgiven himself. Clearly, he's reacted to what Arteta's wanted, and yeah, he must just be putting in the hard graft, like Lacazette's been doing on the training ground and things. Or maybe the penny's finally dropped. What this league's about, what you need to do. I don't know.
Yeah, man. Do you know what? I've been delighted with his form, and as you said, it's not just that he's playing so well. I've seen real hard work from him. Winning flick-ons against big defenders, nicking the ball back. You know, he's got a smile on his face. His body language looks better. And I think it's a massive boost for Arsenal, because I think a lot of Arsenal fans felt like, you know what, maybe he's getting moved on in the summer and we kind of, you know, gave up on him. So to have him back, in the words of Arsene Wenger, you know, it's like a new signing for Arsenal. So, no, man, look, for me at the moment, he has to stay in the team. Right. I don't care if Aubameyang's on the bench. I want Saka and Pepe out wide, two natural wide players. So, no, man, I'm enjoying. And that goal the other day, man.
Bro, Neves got done dirty. Semedo even won the ball back for the Semedo one as well. That's what you want to see from him, just scrappy and fighting. One thing I will say, like you just said, just to harp on that point about it looked like he's on the way out. to us fans, me as well, it looked like he's on the way out. He's not playing ahead of Willian. He looked like he's a squad player. But when I look back to them moments and I look at what Arteta was saying about I still believe in him and things, on one hand, I might think it was politically correct what he's saying, but on the other hand, he might have kept faith in him and he wants a reaction. We don't always see everything. So I think the pennies actually dropped for Pepe. I see him being a bit demanding, like he doesn't just accept his fate now. You know, he looks to get onto the ball, he looks to make things happen. Sometimes you've got to play your way into form, and I think that's finally hit the ground. That's the pennies finally dropped in that regards with Nicolas Pepe, personally.
Yeah, man, no, it's great to see, and like you said, I do think he has woken up, and I think he kind of understands that responsibility that's on his shoulders now. Someone was saying there, do you think that Smith Rowe and Saka have kind of pushed Pepe a little bit? Because if I'm 25 years of age, £72 million, and I'm seeing 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds out the youth team excelling, I would have to take a hard look at myself and think, yo, I need to step my game up. Do you think Saka and those players have pushed him to improve?
It has to be, you know, because it's embarrassing if we're nice with you, you know. How many times have I sat here and we said Saka looks like the 32-year-old for Willian, and Saka looks like the £72 million player? That should, in a nice way, you know, big up all your teammates. Doesn't matter how good or how bad they are or how old, everyone's equal. But that should hit your confidence, you know, in a healthy way. There should be no way in this planet that Bukayo Saka starts ahead of Pepe in an imaginary world. So, of course, so I'd say that. Obviously, when the whole team's playing well, you want to up it as well. You can't take passengers. And when the whole team has been playing well, they've all obviously got some togetherness. So Pepe's bought into that. Fundamentally, who wants to be on the bench? You know, who wants to be on the bench, especially when your team's playing well? You want to be involved. You want to get in there. So I'd say it's a mixture of the two. I'd also say, I don't know how Pepe is mentally. I have to say he's a strong lad, but I don't know. If I was him, the one thing that would give me the bit between my teeth, not that I care what other people are saying, but when you've got a legend like Perez questioning, are you built for this league? You know, every pundit has had their say, this sort of thing, you know, I would take it in my stride. So probably a mixture of things, or maybe the pennies just dropped. Like he finally gets what Arteta wants from him tactically, finally understands what the league is. You know, maybe it's nothing to do with football. Maybe it's all psychological. I don't have a clue. Absolute clue.
What do you make of this from Billy here? He said the most compliment we can give to Pepe is that we don't need Aubameyang to go back in the starting lineup. Are we at the moment? I'm looking at Aubameyang and thinking he's got to play through the middle if he gets back in the team. Possibly at the moment, I feel like he doesn't add great balance out on the left because we need natural wingers at times who can dribble. Is that the thing with you with Aubameyang? Where would you see Aubameyang getting back in this team, if anywhere?
Well, equally, he could get in off the left-hand side, or every day of the week he plays through the middle. But these are the problems we have, you know. When Aubameyang was scoring, it's like he needs to play, so who's going to play through the middle? We need these problems. We need, you know, one place we have got depth, with the exception of William, with all due respect, is out wide. We need whoever's playing well, we'll accommodate towards that. Right now, it's a Saka and Pepe thing. Lacazette's doing well, and he plays well with the young players. So, Aubameyang, right now, you don't really get into the team. If Lacazette's form was iffy, or in fact, if Smith Rowe's form was iffy and Lacazette was playing well, we might sit there and say, put Lacazette back in the 10, Smith Rowe come out, Aubameyang up front. We need these problems, you know. The wingers, there's competition. Striker, there's competition. Even if your positions don't correlate, like just because of a byproduct of there can only be certain attacking players in the lineup and the squad, creative midfielders, wingers, strikers, you've all got to be playing well. So this is what we need. You know, we need different options. How you might play against United might be different to Chelsea. So we need these problems. But right now, Aubameyang probably doesn't get into the team beyond it just being Aubameyang. And I'm sure you're like me in that, you know, Aubameyang gets into your team somehow every day of the week. Right now.
You want to try and get him in. I just wanted to look at this. Obviously, the league table. As I said, man, despite the form, we're still 10th. We haven't really moved. Leeds have got a game in hand. I believe Southampton got a game in hand as well. So we can actually go 12th if they win. I
think Villa do as well, funny enough.
There you go. Yeah, look, Villa got 2 games in hand. Chelsea, they've all got games in hand pretty much. I'm looking here, right? The big thing that stands out to me is this goals for. Only 27 goals. When you think a team like Leeds, who were in the Championship last season, have scored 9 goals more and they've got a game in hand. Do you think that's a big reason why we're not further up the table? That you look at Pepe, you look at Lacazette, Aubameyang, Martinelli, they've all been very inconsistent for different reasons. Or do you feel like Arteta has to take some of the blame that his system was not helping these players to excel earlier in the season, even though like now they all look a lot better. Do you think is it a mixture of the two why we haven't scored?
I mean, sorry, bro, the way you've put it, I can't really add anything onto that. You know, it's a mixture of the two. You know, we're reacting to our poor season. You know, we've had a historic over reliance on Aubameyang or certain guys, and you see when he's not scoring how bad it is, or even when he's been in poor scoring, we're relying on people. We've really just rid the form. You know, Saka when he was making the difference in terms of goals, Lacazette as well. It tells us the same thing: over reliance on certain individuals, like you said. You know, not having a system that got the best historically out of these individuals, and the players have to learn, and Arteta has to learn, because like I said at the start, I've seen my manager go from just talking about crossing for the crossing sake of it, if I'm completely honest, to there's a bit of a system. So, you know, it's no coincidence. Goals win you games. And how many times have we lost when we deserve to win, or drawn when we've deserved something more because we can't score goals? You know, it's these sort of things. And as much as we might talk about another winger, another striker, collectively, we've got to do better. You know, it's no coincidence that teams that have spent less than us are putting the ball in the back of the net, regardless of what we have to say. So you said it there. I don't know how to really answer that. You said it all, my guy.
I mean, the crazy thing is, you look at our form here. We've been talking about our good form win, but all of a sudden, one draw, one defeat, Aston Villa. If we don't win that game, all of a sudden you're saying we're out of form again, because then we haven't won in our last 3 games. It's crazy how quick things can change in football, isn't it?
It's facts. It's like you said, it's like, this is why when it's all going bad, you can't get too down. And when it's going too good, you can't get excited, because it was only 8 games. You know, what we did in January, it's irrelevant now, because come February, we started it with an L. So it's exactly what you said, bro.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. Like, just what have you made of the manager in general now? Are you more optimistic that he's the right man? Are you still kind of in between? Because with me now, I'm not screaming out Arteta out, but I'm still not fully convinced by him. I'm somewhere in the middle. Someone's saying here, have I changed my view on Arteta? I'm a little more positive, but ultimately, I still have to go with the opinion that 10th is not acceptable at Arsenal. You know, it's not acceptable. I'm seeing improvements. I'm seeing a style of play, which gives me something to believe in, but it's a results business, and 10th says the results are still not quite where they need to be. Are you more convinced with Arteta now? Do you think it's more a case of we just need better players and then we'll improve, or what do you make of the manager?
I think everything's true. I think Arteta, that we spoke about David Luiz away from the red card. I feel, for instance, using the last game, he started at a perfect lineup. He's clearly drummed in what he wants from all game. You can't account for David Luiz or these several individuals who makes these mistakes. So I do think he needs better players. Fundamentally, for me, the jury's still out. There were some concerns more so in this season. He seems like they're writing off. But I back my manager. I'm not beating off the drum for him to go or anything like that. But the jury's still out for him, for Edu, for these players. You know, for the players, can you carry on this consistency? For Arteta, can you keep developing? Can you get more out of Pepe? Can you all the things you're showing inroads? Can you continue it? You know, Edu, on the face of it, we've had a good January window in terms of getting people off, or have we just been reacting to what we needed to do in the summer? So the jury's still out. It's like you said, my guy, it's a results business. Ultimately, all that's going to matter is where you start and finish. You know, it's looking a bit more positive now. I want to continue to see a DNA, continue to see young players playing consistently, and ultimately just an evolution of the team. And I want to see him learn from his mistakes. He learned from his mistakes in relation to, previous lack of attacking creativity and things. I think he's learned his lessons in that regards. But when I look at how we exited the Europa League, maybe like you said with the substitutions against Wolves, there's still elements. You know, he is gonna keep learning on the job. I still don't think I've learned anything. You know, again, we've turned a corner, but we're still 10th. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just being balanced. At the end of the day, we're still 10th. You know, really the positives are coming because we've been playing better in comparison to how poor we were previously. Because if we're honest, you know, we're not even getting at Arteta collectively as a club, it's not good enough. Like, it's actually not good enough. We're 10th. So the jury's still out. The jury's still out. And like I said, you know, Europa League can go anywhere, but at least the league is what you make it. You know, if you don't finish in whatever row in May, it's not because any other team was necessarily clear of you. You've messed up. So context is key. If he continues to keep showing me a DNA and, you know, keeping things a bit basic and exploring where you need to, you know, playing players in the right positions, playing the right players, because I'm sure you saw, like, there was a time this season where Pepe might have put in that performance he put in last week, and then he'd be out the team, or we might play 5 at the back one week and then 4 at the back when there's not really an opportunity to do that. So jury's still out. Like he said, 10th isn't really positive. It doesn't do anything. And really, it's a backward step from last season. That's the short of it if we look at it without going in and nitpicking. So it was still very much the same. I wasn't really getting, I was questioning him, but I wasn't really banging the drum about him leaving when we was doing bad. Equally now, I'm not really, doing mad Arteta propaganda. You're the manager. I want you to get it right. But I haven't seen enough to say, I'm really in favour. And that doesn't mean getting him out of the club. That just means if they were to bring in someone better tomorrow, I'm not necessarily going to cry.
What did you make of the, obviously we went out the FA Cup to Southampton. Some people played it down a little bit. Some people were very unhappy with it. We made a lot of changes. I think the manager said that some of these players weren't available. Some of them, he took out and gave them a rest. Did you think as the holders of the FA Cup, we should have put up a little bit more of a fight, or are you not too concerned about the FA Cup this year?
To be fair with you, I knew he was going to get into a tricky position in terms of fatigue and things like that. He had to rotate the team. There were going to be things. Obviously, I would have liked to have seen a stronger team definitely go through. I do think Arsenal might potentially shot themselves in the foot, because are they looking at it on a calculated thing? We all know what winning the FA Cup might have did for us mentality-wise, ending the season on a high. But for those fat cats above Arteta, why were they happy about the FA Cup? It might have been because it's a trophy. It's because European football. If we don't, we've lost that luxury now. Europa League, I don't know if we're going to win that. I hope we win it. Top 4, I hope we get in top 4. Mathematically, it's what you make it. So there's still a prospect of not having any European football next season, in which we might say, some people say it's a benefit. I think it is from a footballing point of view, but from money, it's going to not allow us to bring in players. So we might be looking at that as a poor thing. Obviously, I agree with you. Whenever you're defending a cup, and definitely when you're not at the latter stages of the cup, you want to see a convincing performance. You want to see us play a bit better. And I do think we kind of threw it to a degree.
I mean, if next season we don't get in the Champions League, would you rather not have Europa League football, like from your own point of view? I know you said the financial side, but do you think it would benefit us having no European football, or do you think we need that, backup plan of, if we can't get the top 4, at least we do have another option? What would you rather?
Bro, I'd rather be in Europa, because, like, I can't help it, as someone that cares about my club, the money that comes in, it's going to help us. So I think that's the case. And I don't think it's going to make much difference, because people said, being in the Europa League is, remember when we first went out of the chats, being in the Europa is what we need, this and that and the other, I don't think that's the case. And also, Europa might even save us next season, or it might be a luxury next season. So again, I don't know if we've got the team to focus on a 38-game sort of thing. So I don't really think, just a 38-game sort of campaign. So I think you've got to need European football, man. I think we need Europa League. I don't really see there's a positive. Young players are not really going to get chances. That's really where Saka made his name. That's where, way before he was doing it in the Prem, he did it against Frankfurt. So I'm all for that, really and truly, as much as I'm not the biggest fan of the Europa League. So I think we need Europe. You need it. And I don't know. I don't think people are coming to Arsenal to play Europa League football, but if it is a potential attraction to players, obviously you're not going to say Champions League. You're going to tell them we're playing European football next season and leave the fine print till later. But man, I think we've got to keep it, man. We've got it.
No, because I was reading that Pepe had never played European football, when he came in. So to him, Europa League is something, in it. We might look down our nose at it, but. And I always say the thing with the Europa League, you don't even have to play a full-strength team until the knockout stage.
Facts.
So it doesn't affect you until probably February, March anyway.
Facts.
We've been a bit unlucky to get Benfica, but, it's not the biggest problem. Big up Jorge with the super chat. He said, wow, the Gaffers turned it around. Realistically, we will end the season around 14th. I think we'll be higher than that, but I hear your point. If we go far in Europa, keeping in mind that we only really got, I don't know what, Martin Odegaard. I think we'll finish higher than 14th, but I get your point. What did you make of the January transfer window? A lot of people were happy with the window. I was happy to see a lot of I don't want to be disrespectful and say Deadwood, because you're talking about Ozil and people like that, but players that we needed to get out of the door anyway. But in terms of players coming in, I suppose 2 loan players, they were quite smart signings. But was you disappointed that we didn't go and buy somebody quite significant in the window?
I'm mixed, man, because I think we all knew going into it we probably wasn't going to sign someone permanently in January if they were going to be a top player for all the sort of reasons we've seen, COVID and the rest of it. I'm a bit mixed because on one hand, obviously, with respect to Ozil, I'm happy all of these guys that needed to go to a degree have gone. There's less talking points. We get that much closer to, me. I just want to focus on football, what Arsenal are doing on the field, not these EastEnders, bus-ups and training and all of this beef sort of stuff. So we get rid of that. Obviously, wages are freed up. And obviously, I'll take Odegaard. We're punching there. Nobody saw that. We'll take that. Matt Ryan's coming as a keeper. He's hardly a messiah, but he's better than Rinison. So I'll take that. A bit more confidence if Leno's missing. We've got a decent keeper, with all due respect, and Leno's going to be out now. And obviously, we've done other things like bringing Odegaard. It shares the burden of Smith Rowe. But I'm not too gassed off it because when I look at it, these are things that you should be doing anyways. If you want to be a top club or whatever, like you should have done this in the summer, Again, I'm not criticizing it, but why have you strung Mustafi along to this point? And maybe Arteta was playing mind games, but did we not hear Arteta say, I want to keep Mustafi? So what's going on there to say, F off now? I'm not criticizing it, but it's like we're really just reacting to what we didn't do in the summer. We didn't sign a creative man to play with Partey, so we brought in a 10 in Odegaard. Rinison, I don't think he was first choice. He was always brought in to be third. We couldn't get someone else. Lo and behold, we bring in Matt Ryan. So I think it's just reacting to what we're reacting to. I do think there might be a question mark at left back. I know Cedric's doing his thing there. I know Saka can do something, but Arteta made a big case about wanting a natural in that role. He ain't got a natural in that role if something happens to Tierney, and people might look at that and say, cool, you didn't get Van Aanholt, you didn't get Bertrand. We heard you even probably wanted Junior Firpo from Barcelona. So that might be it there. But decent one. Like I said, less talking points. Disappointing to really not get any fees, for anybody, especially Mustafi, as poor as he is, but we're punching in it. We knew we weren't going to do that.
I mean, I just wanted to say something Arteta said in the press conference this morning where he said, on Kieran Tierney, Kieran is a player that really pushes himself. Even in training, he can't help himself. We are trying to manage him in the best possible way and find the best possibility and the best chance to be fit as soon as possible. So is he training a bit wild where he's like getting himself injured because he's going full blown in every session? What do you think of that comment that he made?
To be fair, I don't really have a clue because I'm obviously not watching what Tierney's doing. But when Tierney signed for the club, we heard he trains the way he plays. So maybe there's something he could be a bit smarter in, I guess. But I don't really think it's a thing in that regards, man. It is what it is. I think he's more talking up. He's more talking him up, in my opinion, and saying, we can't. He's a bit of a madman. He's so focused. We can't control him, sort of thing. But it's ironic you said that because in true Arsenal fan fashion, when you consider the possibilities of Tierney being missed, you can see how it somehow comes in ability. And I know Cedric's done all right there. And I don't want Saka to move from the left or the right. But if it gets to it, I genuinely would rather Saka move to the left and do a job for us until Tierney or someone gets back to fitness, then shoehorn in other players. Like for me, if Tierney's fit tomorrow, great. Cedric moves over to the right-hand side for Bellerin.
Well, yeah, no, do you know what? I was going to ask you that, but Hector Bellerin for me, looking forward, I think he needs to be moved on in the summer. I know we've spoken about this before, but to me, he seems like the weak link in that defence. And, still, it was a time against Wolves where he got in a good position and his cross just went away from the goal. Yeah. And I was thinking, bro, how have you been at Arsenal this long and you can't do something basic like cross a ball? Like, it makes no sense to me. Do you think Bellerin needs to be moved on in the summer?
Bro, do you know what it is with Bellerin? It's a difficult one, because I'd have rather Maitland now to stay. He's not doing his job. It is what it is with Maitland. Cedric, football is fickle. Now it's looking like a shrewd addition. Before we was questioning if it's brown envelopes. I think you've got to make a decision with Bellerin, man. I think he's got to be sold personally. Like, I don't dislike Bellerin. I think he's doing okay, but I just feel we need a bit more from our right back. If nobody locks down that right back position, I want someone to be signed in the summer because I'm tired of sitting here and talking about, every poor game Bellerin has, is he made for it? Every good game is now pennies dropped. Maitland, Cedric, I need someone to just nail that down. So maybe, he's been at Arsenal for a while. To a degree, Arsenal's all he's known as an actual professional footballer. He came here as a 16-year-old. He ain't played in Spain. He ain't done whatever. In a COVID market, is anyone going to buy Bellerin for big money? Even though everything's a profit? Probably not.
Probably not. That's the problem, innit, man? Like, but I think we've just got to accept he came through the youth system. if you get 20 million for him, 18 million,
man. The penny might drop for him somewhere else. He might go somewhere else and become a sick right back and the right back he's supposed to be. That's football sometimes. But for us, right back, surely I wouldn't mind. You would probably be saying Curtis, he ain't good enough. What do you think of his movement and what?
As long as you can throw the ball properly, bro, it's an upgrade anyway.
I can take a throw in, man. I can take a throw in still. The crossing might be a bit hit and miss, but they'll fall in love with the passion still.
Yeah, for real. I've seen you, bro. Them tackles you put in, bro. You're a tough right back still. Yo, I'm telling you. But nah, listen. I just wanted to look at this as well, just to bring something up about transfers. Obviously, we're looking at potential players in the summer and players we might bring in. I just wanted to show you this picture. 2021 out of contract 11. Now, I know a lot of them are at the back end of the career. One or two of them, I believe Luka Modric is signing a new deal, so you don't really include in Messi. That's dream world. But would you take maybe a Memphis Depay or a Wijnaldum or a Donnarumma? I suppose with Leno is a little bit difficult. But Depay, would you take Memphis Depay as a Lacazette replacement? I know he's not a big goal scorer in terms of numbers, but I believe he's 26 and free transfer. Would you take him or Wijnaldum?
It could be a shrewd addition in relation to Depay. I can't lie, I was more on the Depay thing 5-6 months ago than now. I'd entertain it because he's obviously a decent player. There's versatility, but I'd probably give that one a miss there, probably because of the finances he tried to come on. I'd love Wijnaldum for a year or so, seeing what he's on. He gives us legs in the middle. He's got his heart set on Barcelona. So yeah, man, I'd entertain. I'd be more on the Wijnaldum than the Depay thing. I wouldn't cry if Depay came, but yeah, man, I'll go for him. I'm sure out of all of them, it's the Alaba thing for me. But again, that's dream chasing. Donnarumma would be good, but it'd be Alaba. It'd all be Alaba, man.
Yeah, Alaba. I think he's being linked with Real Madrid, isn't he, and such. So
you
never know, man. Edu said, "Boom, Messi, man. Maybe we're doing madness in the background, bro."
Who knows, man? Hopefully, Wenger was chasing Messi as a kid, so maybe it's time.
I know, man. I'm telling you, bro. Just quickly then, as well. Obviously, the players that left. What did you make of because we've spoken many times about the likes of Willock and them guys, man. What did you make about Willock and Ainsley going out on loan?
I mean, it's what me and you have been saying, they need to go. Minutes are currency. They need to go and play football. It's all fun and games being talked up to high heavens by your manager and playing Europa League, but you need to play consistently. Now you've gone to a team where it's not comfortable. They don't care about that you played for Arsenal. They've paid a loan fee. You're an Arsenal footballer. They want to see are you a midfielder. You say you want to play for England and play consistently for Arsenal. This is the big time now. The microscope is on. Go and show them. So you've got a platform. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, there's a lot of talk because he just wants to play, then he just wants to play midfield. Go and show us. You needed to go and get game time. Admittedly, I would have kept Ainsley, but there's got to be a reason he's been allowed to go on loan. So, he needs to go. They all need to go and play football. I would have liked to have seen Nelson join them and go out on loan and things like that. But I mean, I'm impressed that them lot have gone out on loan. And I would say never write them off. Not every young player is going to make it here. Some people need to be sold and whatnot. But, everyone... where was Smith Rowe 6 games ago? He probably would have been someone that might have had to go on loan as well. He got his chance and took it. Would have liked to have seen Nelson go on loan, but Joe and Maitland, they need to get game time in it. I think it leaves us a bit short in terms of bodies though, because who have we really got in midfield if certain injuries creep in? Again, we spoke about left back in it, and obviously Ainsley's a candidate to fill in there if need be. So the games are coming thick and fast. We might be stretched, but it is where it is, man. I think they needed to go. Definitely Joe. He definitely needed to go and get game time. Do
you know what? I think that was a good loan move for Joe Willock. I think Newcastle, coming out of London, big club, can score goals there. I like that move. The Ainsley one, I was a bit like, I feel like that's a difficult loan move to really benefit from. You'll benefit in the sense that you're going to play football. They might play him centre mid. But on the flip side, you'll probably get relegated. You're going to lose most weeks. Is Gareth Southgate going to watch you when you're second bottom or bottom of the league? Do you think we did Ainsley quite dirty in the fact that we reject Wolves, then don't play him? Apparently Leicester wanted him, we reject that, and then he ends up at West Brom. Do you think he's been unfairly treated, or is it his own doing?
I think we'll never truly know. I think it screams desperation to me from Ainsley. I just want to play football. I think it screams, where will he go? To be honest, West Brom, Southampton, Leicester, I think West Brom's where you get the most minutes. Definitely if you want to be a midfielder. Obviously, I hear what you're saying and I agree, the writing's on the wall for what's going to happen at West Brom. But I do think there's things to learn. At Arsenal, you're typically part of a team trying to break down a low block. You're going to be that low block and you struggle in terms of concentration. So you could probably learn a lot whether you're going to play midfield or right back. You're casual on the ball, which is a gift and a curse. You're going to have to cut that all out. I would have loved him to go to Southampton and Leicester, but it's similar to what Wolves, Arsenal, Southampton and Leicester all probably thinking. Ainsley's probably a great squad player. He can give you versatility and stuff like that. But if everybody's fit, is he necessarily playing at Arsenal? Is he necessarily starting either flank or in midfield at Wolves? Is he necessarily starting? Everybody's fit at Southampton. Is he playing the way James Justin and Pereira and all these fullbacks move? Is he getting game time? Much less in the middle where you've got Telemans and them man there. You got to earn it. But I think it's the right move for him in terms of playing game. I'm not too sure it's going to be that loan move that gets him in the shop window, because I'm looking at it as, I don't think we're going to sell Torreira, Guendouzi and the rest of the boys on loan, but I think everyone's got in the shop window. Ainsley, they might say if there's a 30 million to be had there, do the thing. Joe Willock, do the thing. And I think if you go and read it, I can't remember everything. The language from Joe Willock and Ainsley Maitland-Niles by Edu and Arteta, not to play devil's advocate, but it sounds a bit different. The language I got with Joe is like, yeah, you're coming back. Ainsley, it's not that you're playing badly, but something can happen.
Yeah. I think definitely. I think once they switch from that 3 at the back to 4, I think that's Ainsley finished. I think Ainsley as a wing back, he's got a chance. At right back, he never grabbed it with both hands, and I don't think they trust him in the middle of the pitch. And
facts.
I think Ainsley, man, I think 20 million, anything around there or higher, I think he's out the door. I think he's out the door, man. What do you think of? Obviously, there's been stories about Torreira. They were talking about maybe him going to Monaco. Obviously, Atletico. I think he's only started 2 games. Guendouzi, the manager, got sacked. He had an argument on the side of the pitch with a player. Out of those players, would you like to see Guendouzi or Torreira come back, or do you think would you cash in on both of them in the summer?
I would like them all to come back, bro. I'd listen. If it was up to me, me, I'd rather Torreira and Guendouzi being part of this squad. But I think them man there, bar a miracle, the writing's written on the wall, man. Guendouzi's there to put himself on the shop window. I would take Torreira back, but it's actually, you're looking at it now. Torreira, like Ainsley and I think Joe, contracted until 2023 odd. When you're not playing at Arsenal, we can give the luxuries. He's playing as a 10 under Emre and all these things. When you've gone to another team, especially one that in theory, we were sitting here on your show and saying you hit the luck, you hit the jackpot. What better system for a player like Torreira was to go there? You're not playing. And now we're in a muckle because now teams might be looking at it and saying, hold on, forget buying Torreira. He's gone to a new team. He ain't playing games, which means we probably get less money for the Donny. So I don't want to be stuck with an unhappy player. I love Torreira. I'm sure every Arsenal fan does. He was a breath of fresh air, but I don't know if he's committed to this thing. So I'd say Guendouzi out of all of them, the non-homegrown ones, I'd say Guendouzi. And it's a difficult one because you look at all our centre midfielders, if we just flirt between the fact of Maitland can play there and Guendouzi and Torreira and Joe and the rest of them, really, you can really say only Partey is going to be here. Xhaka's probably going to be here, but he was linked with a move. You go through all them names, there's bare question marks. So
there is.
Yeah, like interesting to see what's going to happen in the summer, my guy. Seriously, because there's only one option.
I hope that Guendouzi is, despite that argument on the pitch, because I believe he's about to become a father. So I'm hoping that he really matures, because I honestly think there's a player in Guendouzi. He can carry the ball. He's confident on the ball. He's 21, a French international. Worst case scenario, you sell him in 2 years and make money on him. So I would sell Torreira because I don't think Torreira wants to be in England. He's constantly talking about the Italian league and going to other clubs. I would sell Torreira. I would sell El Neni. Xhaka will be here. They're not. I don't particularly rate Xhaka. He has improved lately, but I put him in that category I was talking about David Luiz. Like, you feel like it's a matter of time before he makes a mistake. Do you know what I mean? We'll have a game where he gets sent off or he does something crazy. So
the best we'll see from Donny's. They'll put him good runs of form, but when it matters, certain times we let people down. And to be fair, Xhaka's been all right in his last game, but historically, these players are not players to bet on. It's as real as that. They're not players to bet on to do anything.
Yeah, man. Who would you like to see next to Thomas Partey? Who would you like to see us get in the summer who could play next to him?
Well, right now I'm just flirting between the Arrow one, man. That's the only one I haven't given up until I see he's signed for Juventus or whatever. I got small hope that Arsene Wenger's doing the French thing and calling people on our behalf. So I'd say him, man. But I think we need some real depth, man. You know, we need another person who can play like us. Well, Partey's a cross between an 8 and a 6 to a degree, but someone that can do that and someone that offers something different to Partey. We know Partey's a baller with the football, but he's brought here primarily to win it. And I think that's where we're lacking. I think we need some real depth. I think I would love to have 4 or 5 real quality options in midfield. Obviously, not everyone's going to be a headline signing like Partey, but I'm not a fan of our partnerships in midfield, really and truly. At best, right now, is Xhaka and Partey. We all know the deficiencies. A couple months ago, it was all El Nene and Partey. We know the deficiencies. So the only variable is Partey's levels. The rest, you know already, Curtis.
And Cam's saying it here, massive midfield surgery income. I think we need 2 centre midfielders this summer, not even 1.
Without a doubt.
Because as you said, when Thomas Partey's not there, that is probably a bottom half of the table midfield standard if you're talking Xhaka and El Neni and them, man. It's nowhere near good enough. So
literally.
Yeah. I would have loved us to have got him, but I just think them big boys are gonna come for him.
Yeah, circle in it.
We had
having a good season.
We had the free hit. We just had to pay the money, bro. So, you know, when they say they couldn't afford it, but then they were rejecting 20 million for Ainsley and things like that, it's like, well, you could have done it in a different way. Someone's saying here, Calvin Phillips. What do you think of him? I think he's decent.
Good signing, man. I like Calvin Phillips, but bro, you know already with them sort of man, he's key to Leeds. He's their player. English teams got P's already. Leeds don't look like they're leaving the Premier League anytime soon. You're going to need to make a significant offer to get a significant player. And not too many times have we really been aggressive in terms of getting these sort of signings. Phillips is going to come with a premium as well. So I think that one's a non-starter. Would love to be wrong. Would love for it to happen. But myth, man. Absolute myth.
Yeah, man. Let me just finish off with this. I always like to get a quick prediction of you of the next few games.
Yeah, fam.
Usually the numbers are very low. You'll be like, yeah, we'll get 2 points out of the next 5 games.
Oh, you're going to make people hate, man. Like,
we're a slightly better team now, so you might be more optimistic. I'm just gonna till the end of the month. We'll ignore the Benfica game, obviously Europe. Obviously, we got Villa away, Leeds at home, City at home, Leicester away. 4 games. How many points you giving us out of them 4?
Oh, Ski, you're putting me on the spot. So what?
Yeah, yeah.
Villa first, Villa, Leeds, City, and who's the last one?
Leicester away.
Broski, I don't know, fam. Listen, I don't know. Let's see, bro. Because I can see. I don't think I can give you a number, you know. Because we're us versus Villa, bro. The form they're in, I don't know, but you know, I'm gonna be positive. You know,
they got Lingard ran all over them yesterday, bro.
You know, 3 points against Villa, hopefully. I don't really believe it, but you know, this is the hardest one, bro. I don't know, fam. You put me on the spot, fam.
Yeah, man. No, I'm telling you, man. Birdwine, them W's, bro.
It's a shake, bro. I don't know. Like what? Villa, Leeds, City. Oh Lord, Leicester. Oh Lord, have mercy.
Them last 2 are naughty, man.
Right off the City game. I want to be wrong. Right off the City game.
Right.
Leicester. 12 Bro, I'd say 6 points, man. Let me say 6. Let me say 4 points, man. I really believe in 4 points. 4 to 6 points. I want to be wrong, but I can't say with my chest we're beating Leicester, we're beating City. Really, I don't even believe in us beating Leeds or Villa. That's not me trying to be pessimistic. It's like these are some good teams we're playing, you know.
Bro, I thought we made progress, man.
We have made progress, but we're still Arsenal, broski. Like we're still Arsenal, fam.
And you know what? We're not that good at early kickoffs either, man. 12:30 at Villa, 12 o'clock at Leicester, man.
You know what? 2 wins, man. 2 wins. 2 wins, man. 2 wins. Because you know what? I'll give us the luxury. We've been better away from home. I'd say we'll do Villa, we'll do Leicester. I don't really believe in anything I'm saying, but I'm gonna talk it into existence.
I think we can do Villa, you know, and I think we can do Leeds as well. The City and Leicester one. City are come on, I'm not even gonna
yeah, man.
That's a write-off. Aguero's
one off, man.
Right, yeah, just chalk that one off, man. We're just using that one for experience and fitness. We got Benfica a week after, so I wouldn't even.
So we're gonna rest the teams anyways, man.
I'm playing random players for that one. Leicester, we got a shocking record at Leicester.
Bro, I'm shook, you know. I'm shook. To be fair, they've been a bit shaky in the last couple of games, but it's Leicester, fam. No,
it don't suit us. But yeah, and that Benfica, obviously back to back with City in between, man. Them games are huge, aren't they, man? We've got to be in the Europa League by the end of February.
Facts. Like this is where I'm looking at the club now. You know, again, are you looking at it on a cerebral thing? You have to take games hand in hand. You can't look to your head, but are you looking at it a direct consequence of not beating the likes of Wolves and taking points? What they have for the consequences of the season? Because are they looking at it like, okay, we've lost it, we're going into a tough run? When we was last in a tough run, we kind of bottled it. So hopefully we can get over it, man. It's tough, man. It's tough.
It's going to be a long February, people. We got to stick together, man. It's going to be difficult for the Gunners, man. I'm telling you, we have to just keep the faith, man, and hope. You know? No, big up my brother Deluded for coming through.
On, man. Appreciate you for having me.
Make sure you subscribe to Deluded, subscribe to my channel, hit the like. Over 900 of you in here. We'll be on your channel tomorrow, what, 12 o'clock?
Tomorrow, 12 o'clock, people. So, yeah, man, set your reminders or make sure you're there. We'll be probably covering some of the points we've done today and obviously talking more in relation to Villa. So the great content is coming, man. Make sure you subscribe to Curtis if you are not already. I can't imagine you're not.
Have you got anything coming up today?
What's the time? 3:30. So 4 p.m. I'll just be talking about the Villa game just a little bit and then on my channel, and that's it really. There ain't nothing else to cover beyond that.
There you go. Deluded 4 p.m. I'll be back 7:30. Tottenham Chelsea game. I can relax for them games, man. No stress.
Yeah, the neutral.
The neutral thing, man. I can relax. Big up everyone in the chat, and we'll see you later on. Bless people.